Hi, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Bravo Book Club. Ooh, I'm looking a hot mess tonight. Welcome on in, guys. We are live on the YouTube. We are live on the Instagram. Let's get it, everybody. Today we're breaking down chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of House of Hilton. This is week 2 of Bravo Book Club's House of Hilton. And ooh, is there a lot of tea? I would say this section of the book was probably juicier than last week's section of the book. Here we really get into Big Kathy Hilton's mom. We dive into her previous relationships. We get to meet Kathy Hilton's dad. We get to meet Kathy Hilton's, I guess, stepfather, but we also get to meet Kyle and Kim and their dad, and we get into their marriage, which is really interesting because it's very different from what we got from American Woman, which was Kyle's film, her show with Paramount about her dad and about her dad leaving her mom and how her mom had to make them into child stars in order to provide for their family. It's a very different story. Very, very different story. Hi, guys. Coffee Buzz says, shooting the grumpy. Oh, okay. Hi, Nicole Rogers. Hey, Zach. Hope you had a great day. I did have a great day, my love. Thank you. Hi, Deb. Hi, Val. Hi, guys. Hi. New catchphrase. Yeah, no, we're not doing the grumpies. No grumpies. Hi, Trish. What's going on, guys? Hello. Last week was juicy. Cannot wait for this next part. It is juicy. It is. Hi, as told by Tones. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Aussie Berry. Hi, Chris O'Shea. I reread this book. Yes, Georgino. Okay. Hi, Crystal. All right, guys, let's dive into everything. If you are reading the book, let me know if you've read the book, if you are reading it currently, or if you're just following along with the recaps. Either way, I don't mind. I'm here to share House of Hilton with you. I found you through Jacques, and I'm so glad I did. Thank you, Brittany. I'm so glad you found me. I love me some Jacques. Okay. I'm going to try to wash my hair today so it's a little fluffy. A little fluffy and a little flat at the same time. What a fun time. Okay. Thank you, Aussie Berry, buying the first badge of the night on Instagram. Aussie Berry, you are the bomb.com. I love you, my dear. Okay, so let's get into it. Chapter 5, House of Hilton. So here we're taking things back all the way to their Nebraska roots with Big Kathy's parents, Big Ed and Dodo. That was his mother. That was her mother's name, Dodo. It was short for Dorothy. I thought that was a really, that's not very, I'm not going to be like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Dodo. Like, that sounds like an awful name. Oh my God, I'm gonna adjust this light a little bit. I feel like I'm looking a little tired on the Instagram. Anyway, so we get to meet Big Kathy's parents. You'll remember Big Kathy is Kathy Hilton's mother. Thank you, Crystal, for the 3 badges. I appreciate you, my love, dropping those badges up on Instagram. I love it. So Big Ed was a politician and he was a real estate owner. And he was a really big drinker. Big Ed loved to do the sippy of the cocktails. But Big Kathy was really the one that ran the house. They let her be in full charge. Big Kathy's friends and former peers described her as a total lunatic. They said that she was completely self-involved. They said that she was totally narcissistic and that she was very mean to people. And she was very much into herself. Like, she was the most important person ever. Not Kim and Kyle's mom. Oh, yes. Kim and Kyle's mom. Sorry. Big Kathy is Kathy Hilton's mother, Kyle's mother, and Kim's mother. But this is all, it goes all the way back to when she was a kid. And apparently she was described as the Regina George of their high school. She would even spit in girls' hair, and dominate her power over them. She would haze them to prove to them that they weren't anything special. Wow. Thank you, Amy Hawkins, 1997, for buying a badge on Instagram. Kenny G, 1064, for buying 3 badges. Oh my God. As told by Tones, buying 2 badges. You guys, you're so sweet tonight. Thank you. Little Kathy follows after her namesake. Yeah. Trish with the 3 badges. You guys are so sweet. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the badge love tonight. Wow. You guys are feeling extra generous. Okay. So yeah, basically chapter 5 is all about her being in high school and her being a monster and her hazing people and being mean to people and wanting to show them that she is better than them. Thank you, Elaine. She says, I look great here. Val Porter says, it's just so timely. The book sheds so much light. Wow, you guys are calling me sexy. Thank you, Coffee Buzz on the YouTube. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Yes, it is very fitting for everything we're about to see on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now let's get into chapter 6. So in chapter 6, Kathy was described as a drama queen that would do anything for attention. There was one guy, his name was Bob, very unoriginal name, but he also sounds like a very unoriginal guy. But he especially caught her eye, and she even sought him out well into adulthood, well into his marriage. Thank you, Charmin BB, for the 2 badges. Thank you, Mimi of 31982 for the 3 badges. Oh, thank you, Mimi. Love you guys. You're so sweet tonight, and I really appreciate you. Anyway, so Bob, she really liked Bob. She used to stalk Bob. She'd be like, okay, Bob likes to have drinks at this bar, and this bar serves, you underage beer, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wait outside and make sure that I am there when I'm outside when he comes out so that he can see me and that we can hang out. And I'm just like, girl, like you're a little desperado, but she wanted him and he really couldn't give her the time of the day, to be honest, unless she was putting out for him. And she didn't put out. She was very much, even though she would like make out with guys and like dress really sexy and stuff, she never actually gave it up to them. And I think that was part of her strategy. And that was part of the strategy she then added on to her daughters, was that if you give them just enough, you won't have to go all the way because they'll keep chasing you. Wow. Thank you, Regency Rival. You bought 3 badges. You guys are really sweet tonight. Thank you. Dora Rodriguez. I am loving this recap. Thank you, Dora. We just started. I love that you're already loving it, though, my dear. It's interesting. Yes, I agree, Jojo. It is very interesting now. Oh, Zach looks beautiful and sexy. You guys are so sweet. I don't look beautiful and sexy tonight, but it's okay. We're allowed to have our off days, but I appreciate you guys. You're so sweet. Okay, so back to chapter 6. Bob, obsessed with him, loved Bob, was trying to pursue him. And she said or people interviewed in the book said that she would make out with him quite often, and that's really all he wanted her for. He wasn't ever really interested in her. But Big Kathy ran her household. She ran her parents. They had zero authority over her, so much so that she even dropped out of school without any resistance from them. She just stopped going to school. She was like, I'm done. Peace out. Fuck off. I'm done. And her parents were like, all right. And at one point, she like painted the house. She like painted everything in the house gold, and her parent and she was expecting her parents to like get upset or have some sort of big reaction. They came home and they're like, wow, sweetie, this looks very artistic of you. It's very like, I don't know if her parents were just disengaged or what the situation was with them necessarily, but it seemed like she really wanted their attention and she was trying to get them to react to things, and because they didn't, it just created this like need for attention. I mean, we know that our relationships with our parents ultimately affect our relationships with other people, but it seemed like that lack of attention or that lack of structure or anything from them is really what made her this monster. But yeah, she literally just stopped going to school. She was just like, I'm done. And her parents were like, all right, cool. Eventually, all her friends started to take off in their lives. They graduated, they were getting careers, they were going off to good schools, but she had her eyes on becoming a star. She's like, I got a great voice. I don't think she ever really. She wanted to be an actress, but she really wanted to be like a singer. Thank you, Steph Thompson 15. You guys are so sweet. I really appreciate you guys. I'm like overwhelmed with all the love you're sending me tonight. Dr. Evil, she has a Dr. Evie, she has a book. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I've heard Dr. Evie might have a book. But anyway, Big Kathy ends up getting accepted into a fine acting school, but then she ends up dropping out because she fell in love with a guy. Seemed like men were her weakness. Girls, what's my weakness? Men. Okay, then chilling, minding my business. Yo, so I looked around and I couldn't believe this. I said, I swear, my niece, my witness, my brother, a brother had it going on this. My wicked, had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits, and Okay, I'm not gonna subject you guys to any more of my terrible rap singing. Okay, then we get into chapter 7. This is where things start to get juicy. 7, 8, and 9 are really juicy, but chapter 7 is where where they dive deeper into the guy that she fell in love with and left school for, and that is Larry Avanzino, who you may remember from last week as Kathy Hilton's actual father. Apparently, he was a very handsome young man, and he was the apple of his mother's eye. He was the spoiled one in his family amongst his siblings. They loved and adored them some Larry, but he wasn't really like the sharpest tool in the head. He had good looks, and he was a little street savvy, but for the most part, he wasn't really going anywhere in life. But he was a cutie patootie, and Kathy fell head over heels for him. Um, Even though he was a bit of a train wreck, but so was she. So it seemed like a match made in hell. But their relationship was total fireworks, just like, you know, just like they were individually, they were even worse. And it was, even wilder when the two of them got together. But eventually she got knocked up in the backseat of her car. Good for her. She finally gave it up. She lost her virginity to Larry. And of course, in typical teen mom fashion, she got preggers. So she and Larry ended up getting married in a shotgun wedding. Both of their families were pissed about it. His family did not like her. They thought she was a total gold digger and like she was going, or not a gold digger, or yeah, a gold digger, yes, but not that they had much gold for her to dig at that time, but they just saw her as like a very rambunctious, ambitious person. Um, but anyway, they got married and her mom was pissed about that. So she's like, no, you're having a big formal wedding and it's going to be a Catholic ceremony and it's going to be great. And she was like, fine. And so she ended up having her big wedding. And as a married couple, things did not get much better. They had very high highs and very low lows, and their fights were very volatile. Eventually, after she had little Kathy, because she was going to keep little Kathy. She wanted to keep Larry, and the best way to keep him was to have a baby. Although it does seem like there was some trepidation. She was a little nervous about having a baby. It wasn't anything that she was necessary. I can't tell if it was something that she planned. It doesn't sound like she planned it, but it also seemed like a convenient way to keep him hooked so that he couldn't leave her. So it was more of like an anchor baby, I guess. But I guess in order to have an anchor baby, you have to like have intent behind it, right? I don't know. But after she had little Kathy, she decided it was time to leave Larry. She was over it. He wasn't a great provider. He wasn't a great husband. His drinking was getting out of hand. And she was like, I need to find myself a rich man. Snap, snap, pat the puss. And that's exactly what she did. Then we get into chapter 8. And in chapter 8, Big Kathy was ready to start providing for herself. And she used little Kathy to do just that. So she started pimping her out. I mean, when she was mere months, she would pimp her out to be a baby model. And Larry hated it because this started when they were still together. Larry hated it until he dipped out altogether after their marriage had ended. He was just like, I don't want to be a dad. I don't care to be a part of any of this. You're like selling our daughter out and having her be in all these like commercials. And like, it wasn't anything he wanted for his daughter. And he knew that there was no winning with Big Kathy. So he just let her do whatever she wanted and he dipped out. Sounds like a real prize. She caught herself there. But Big Kathy threw her daughter into any and every project that she could secure her because she wanted to make her a star, darling. She even made her a banister baby. She manifested that. She was doing The Secret before The Secret was a thing. And as little Kathy's modeling career began to take off, Big Kathy then met Ken Richards, who was a bulldozer in business and was very successful, and he was doing very well for himself. Big Kathy liked it. She was attracted to the lifestyle that he could provide her, and she was like, "That one, yep, I'm coming for you." Like Erica Jane, "I'm coming for you. You ever call me a liar again? I'm coming for you." Or what? Or what? Well, there was no or what because she landed it. And apparently his marriage, because he was married at the time when she saw him, I was like, that's gonna be mine. Apparently his marriage was already on the rocks at that time because his wife was a heavy drinker and he didn't love that. But Kathy knew what she wanted and she went for it. Evelyn, who was Ken's wife at the time, apparently started to have suspicions that her husband was fooling around. So she ended up going to the bar that he would frequent. And she went there in an attempt to confront Big Kathy about the affair that she believed that they were having, that they were actually secretly having. Um, and she was like, I guess she was feeling brave that night. Maybe she had a shot or two, or she had herself a Paige DeSorbo who was pumping her up like Paige pumped up Sierra to go and throw a wine glass in somebody's face. But that's when Big Kathy was like, oh, no way, Jose. You're not going to come and try to mastermind me. You're not going to think that you're going to get rid of me and keep your husband for yourself. Who do you think you are, you drunk? So what does Big Kathy do? She ends up slipping knockout drops into her drink and drugs her so that she's all disoriented and basically roofied her essentially. And so as Evelyn was stumbling out of the bar and trying to get into her car, as she was getting in, Kathy came up from behind her and ends up slamming her door and getting her ankle was caught in like the doorway. And so she slams the door and smashes her ankle, literally crushing it and breaking her ankle as like a bitch, don't play with me. Your man is mine. Your husband's not in the pool. Your husband's in my pants. don't mess with me, honey. And I was like, ooh. And then not only that, not only did she smash and break her ankle, literally like the way it's described, her ankle was like Dunzo's. But not only that, you guys, she then goes to the cops and has the cops take them to her house and tries to make it seem like this woman had attacked her and this woman was crazy. Evelyn, the Evelyn, she doesn't know how her ankle got caught in the door. I don't know what cockamamie story she was trying to sell, but she was trying to make it look like Evelyn was the one that came and attacked her. And even if Evelyn did come and attack her, good for Evelyn. You were banging her man. Not that the man's innocent in any of this. Ken is definitely not innocent. But I mean, come on. Oh my God. But if a husband is worth someone, isn't it the guy's fault? Yes, Alicia, it is the guy's fault. I'm not saying it's only Big Kathy's fault. I'm just saying Big Kathy's batshit crazy. But anyway, eventually Big Kathy got Ken and she got knocked up again. And that was a real anger baby because that was her way of securing herself, Ken. But Ken's kids, because he had 3 kids with Evelyn, Ken's kids hated Big Kathy. Apparently she was awful, not only just to their mom, but she wasn't very nice to them either. And she was also apparently awful to Ken's mother. It's uncertain whether or not the mother lived with them. I think the mother lived with them or they lived with the mother. The mother was in the picture and it sounds like the mother was like unwell. She was elderly and, wasn't fully all there. But Big Kathy, because the mother wasn't all there, would literally feed her dog food and then laugh about it. She'd be like, I fed her dog food for dinner and she can't tell the difference. Like this woman is twisted. She would also like when she would get mad with her, she would push her to the ground. Like who does like this is an elderly woman. Like she would just get upset. And then at one time she I think left the door open and allowed her to wander out into like the freezing cold weather, probably hoping she would die. But like Jesus Christ, she was awful. Yes, Alicia, this is literally a Lifetime movie. I can't even like it's insane. But everyone around him, everyone around Ken, and his family and the kids, like everyone around him thought that she was a gold digger, but he married her anyway. There was something about her. She's got that wop. That wop was just too good to let go. Actually, I don't think it was wop because she rarely put out. She would only put out when she needed to put out. And occasionally she would put out when she wanted to have a baby. But apparently his kids would try to tell him all the time how crazy Big Kathy was, but he dismissed them. I'm telling you, this had to have been some real good WAP. That's the only thing that keeps a man disengaged and wanting to stick around. Ladies, am I right? Am I wrong? Give me a something. But eventually things got really bad and she allegedly tried to kill Ken by pushing him down a flight of stairs, and his daughter freaked out and like tried to like prevent that from happening, and he freaked out because he was like, holy shit, this woman really is crazy. Now she's trying to kill me. Like it's insane. She has to swallow. I mean, listen, she has to do something. She did try to teach her girls how to land a man with all the little tricks that she got. Danielle Staub. But yeah, Big Kathy, fucking nuts. Insane in the membrane and insane. Got no brain. I mean, she's clearly got a brain, but like, Jesus Christ, Big Kathy. What a cuckoo bird. There's a special place in hell for people like her. I agree, Jojo. You're so right, Zach. Right about what? Right about the WAP? WAP, WAP, WAP. That's some wet and gushy. What a gangster, holy mean girl Batman. Yeah, Big Kathy was gangsta indeed. It takes 2 to tango. Yeah, I agree. Definitely sounds like someone would have been. Yeah, I agree, guys. It was crazy. Hi, Janavi. Okay. Now let's get into chapter 9. This is the final chapter that we'll be breaking down. And this was the longest chapter. And this is where we get to meet baby Kim Richards. Okay. Or actually, no, I think we're doing WAP or blackmail. That's funny. No, we're doing chapter 10 too. So chapter 9 and 10 are where we get to meet the kids and things also get pretty juicy. So chapter 9 is where we get to meet baby Kim Richards, who was immediately also thrust into the showbiz by her wild momager. Like Big Kathy was Kris Jenner before Kris Jenner was Kris Jenner. Ken apparently loved and wanted to adopt little Kathy because remember, she was Larry's baby until Larry dipped out. But Big Kathy was like, nope, not gonna allow it. Um, Seemingly because she didn't want him to have any like rights to little Kathy. She wanted full ownership of little Kathy, is what it sounded like. Eventually, they moved to Los Angeles, which really helped to bolster the kids' showbiz careers. Big Kathy's stepdaughter, Ken's daughter, Diane, remembers how she would try to teach her how to go after wealthy men. We know that later on she talks about, or we find out that she tried to teach Kim and Kyle and Kathy how to go after wealthy men. Well, Diane, Ken's daughter, talks in the book about how she also was kind of coached or groomed by Big Kathy to only go after doctors and lawyers and people with real money. But Diane was like, "Heck with you! I love wins, Big Kathy, and I'm gonna marry somebody for love and not for money." And Big Kathy was like, "You're a moron. Listen." You can fall in love very easily with a rich person just as much as you can fall in love with a poor person. That seemed to be Big Kathy's philosophy, and it served her well in life. So well to the point that she was bashing people's ankles in cars. But Dan also insists that Big Kathy was abusive to Kim and to little Kathy, and that she would slap them and pull their hair if they ever misbehaved. That she just was not a very nice woman. That she was very endearing to the girls, but she also had this other side that was also very mean and abusive towards them as well. She even, because I guess she didn't like Diane's teeth and she wanted her to get her teeth fixed. So Dan talks about how she made her a cheeseburger one time and she put a screw in the cheeseburger hoping that she would break her teeth. Like, this woman is serious. Like, nobody's off limits. The girls aren't off limits. Pushing Ken down the stairs, not off limits. The mother, the elderly mother, not off limits. Like, at least, like, okay, fine. Push your husband down the stairs. Maybe he's a bit of a jerk, whatever. He doesn't want you to buy another pair of shoes. Fine. Throw him down the stairs. But like the elderly mother that like can't defend herself, like, come on. Yeah, and now the daughter with the sandwich, with the burger, she chopped up the meat and then she threw a screw in there. Like, who puts a screw? Like, who does that? She sounds totally mentally ill. Yes, Val, totally mentally ill. Isn't she crazy? Like, I was reading this, like, what the fuck? Like, this is insane. But anyway, Diane says that she was terrified of Big Kathy and she hated the fact that Big Kathy just continued to drag her father down. And then here we go. Big Kathy gets pregnant yet again for the third time. And this time we have baby Kyle. But this time she wasn't planning on getting pregnant. There were no more anchor babies. She was already anchored in. And at this point, she was trying to reel the anchor back up so that she can be free. She was pissed about being pregnant with Kyle. She did not want another baby. She was not expecting it. She wasn't even really giving it up to Ken at that point. Um, she but apparently, like, after one of their fights, they like had a reconciliation, and during that reconciliation they had a little rendezvous and they were doing a little sexy time, and then oopsie whoopsie, here comes baby Kyle. But apparently she really only cared about the kids if and when they could make her money, and that was what their acting and modeling careers. So other than that, she wasn't the endearing mom or the stage mom that wanted to see her kids be successful. She was Mommy Dearest meets Kris Jenner, and she was an awful stage mom because she wanted to make money and she wanted her kids to be famous so that she can ride off of her kids' coattails. And Kim was apparently very successful as a young actress. This is way before my time, so if anybody remembers Kim Richards when she was in her heyday, please feel free to chime in the live chat. But Kim was great. She had charisma. She had the star factor, the X factor. She was great at memorizing lines. Apparently, her father had a skill for being able to remember things very well. It helped him excel in school. He had a photographic memory. Kim was very similar. Big Kathy swears that she's the reason Kim was so successful because she would help her memorize lines. But yeah. Big Kathy was apparently a nightmare on set and awful to work with, and everybody on the crew and the production hated her. Kim was Disney. Yes, Kim was a Disney girl. She was on Disney, but I don't know. The book goes into a number of credits that Kim had. Yes, Escape to Witch Mountain. I know about that one. The Nanny. I know she had some hits. I just didn't realize she was as famous as the book I think makes her out to be. Saying that she was photographed a lot and she, was in all of the magazines and people were interested in what she was wearing and what she was dating, that she was very successful as an actress. I didn't realize I knew she was successful, but I didn't realize she was that successful. But apparently Kim Richards also was resentful of Kyle worked with Betty Davis. No, I think Kim worked with Betty Davis. I remember Betty Davis being referenced in the book, and I think it was Kim that worked with her. Um, or maybe it was Kyle. I'm not sure. Alicia, you might be correct. But anyway, somebody worked with Betty Davis. But apparently Big Kathy would also pit the girls against each other and make them compete for her affection. Yeah, Kyle was in Little House on the Prairie. Um, sorry, I'm trying to not get distracted with the live chat. But people hated working with Big Kathy, and she even, like, some of the other people that would work with the girls on set said that she would pit them against each other and make them compete with each other, and so when Kyle was doing really well, she would put that in Kim's head as like, "Look at Kyle, this is my baby, and she's doing so well, and she's been so successful as an actress." And everybody was and then, everyone around them, like, felt uncomfortable that she would do that to her girls and make them compete with each other, and it created this, like, competitive and jealous relationship with them, which I guess kind of explains their relationships with each other now. Kim's career really took off, and she began, to rise and continue to be the star that she was, so much so to the point where she became the provider in the family, but it took away from her inability to have, like, a real childhood or to actually learn how to develop those skills because she was so used to always being on set since she was very young, and she talked about that in different interviews about how, she didn't get to be a kid, and we see that on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where she talks about, like, "I was the provider, and I bought so and so her first car, and da da da, and I bought us a house," and apparently, Kim, according to the book, was making up to like seven figures in her prime, which is insane. Yes, no wonder they dislike each other because they had to dislike each other in order to get their mother's love and affection. But anyway, it's interesting though because it does describe Kim's relationship with her mother. Like, it's weird. Like, it seems like she was very endearing toward or she, like, really loved her mother and, like, felt really connected to her mother, which is very strange after hearing all these allegations about Big Kathy, but the book describes it as Big Kathy as Kim saw Big Kathy as her moral compass, as her guiding force. Then Kyle stole Kim's goddamn house. I know, Kyle bought them a house, and then Kyle goes and steals Kim's goddamn house. But yeah, Kathy was not great, but it seemed like she had a way of actually, like getting them to I mean, I guess it's similar to, like, Stockholm Syndrome, I guess is how I would describe it. Like, she would, give them enough to make them want more, and then she would pit them against each other. That way, they would continue to fight for her attention and affection, and it was weird. But eventually, Big Kathy became a really big drunk, and she would sleep around, and she was always cheating on her husband, and she was not shy about it at all. And she also got pregnant for a fourth time, but she ended up losing the baby, and it was one of her gentlemen of the night. Not that she got paid for it. She definitely didn't get paid for it. I'm sure if she found a way to hustle that too, she would probably hustle that, but she didn't need to get paid. She loved to give it up. Once the floodgates to the WAP were open, it was like wop, 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 drip, drop, applesauce. But poor Kim was really underneath her mother's spell. Apparently, she would drive at 12, 13 years old and have to go and, like, pick up her mother from the bars and bring her home, and it gets a little weird because then her mother would bring all these different men home. It's unclear of where Ken was, presumably off at work or traveling for work, but she would bring all of these men home, and then she would make Kim perform for them. She would make them dance or she would make him dance and do little skits just to, like, entertain them, which is weird. Why do you need this, like, young girl to entertain you by dancing and doing skits? It sounds a little inappropriate. Um, it doesn't say that she did anything more than, like, dance and sing and do skits, but, like, why do that? Why put your daughter in a position where grown older men are just gonna, like, watch her? Kim deserves that goddamn house. I'm sure she does, poor Kim. Now I know why she's such a fucking mess now. But whatever. Eventually, Big Kathy's marriage to Ken started to deteriorate, but she wouldn't divorce him. She didn't want to split custody of the kids, and she didn't want to give him anything. She wanted everything, but she didn't want to give him anything. And the biggest thing was the kids because she had so much power over the kids. But as Kim was starting to make all this money, she was starting to blow all of that money. Um, like we said, Kim was starting to make up to seven figures, and Kathy was just like, make it rain. Apparently, she'd buy a lot of gems. She liked to invest in gems. I don't really know what an investment in gems really it looks like necessarily, but she seemed to be getting more and more reckless, and it was more and more challenging for Ken, and then his career started to tank, and he wanted out of his marriage to Big Kathy, but she was just like, "Nope." So they ended up having to use some of Kim's acting money to keep afloat and to pay home bills and stuff, which I get is also why Kim was like, "I had to provide for our family. I had to take care of us." Uncut Gems. Yes, Valerie. Uncut Gems. Big Kathy would buy a ton of Uncut Gems. But eventually, Ken was done and he was like, "I'm out." He moved out. He filed for divorce. They had a big 9-year-long divorce and custody battle that was just not cute. But eventually there was he started dating somebody else. He started dating Sylvia, who was also divorced and also had kids, and they fell in mad love. And we know love wins, guys. But eventually, Ken started to have more and more heart problems, and he had to have open heart surgery. But he was worried that if things didn't go well, that Big Kathy, because she was technically still married to him, she would get everything. And he needed to protect his assets because he didn't want her to have anything. So he ends up giving Sylvia power of attorney so that she can make all the decisions if anything, God forbid, were to happen to him. But it's interesting because I don't know the legalities of all of it, but he gave her power of attorney, and then she ended up having her lawyer call Big Kathy and tell Big Kathy that if she didn't end up getting divorced or she didn't end up signing the divorce papers, that Sylvia's attorney would then sue Big Kathy and that she would make sure she had nothing left. Why she would sue her, how she would sue her, that's not made clear necessarily, but I guess Big Kathy figured I might as well just take a good divorce settlement, be cool with it now, and move on. Um, so eventually she ended up signing the divorce papers and moved on with her life. But after a surgery, this is where little Kathy started to get older. This is around the time she met Rick Hilton. This is around the time that they were engaged and getting ready to get married. And little Kathy was apparently a replica of Big Kathy, and she was not much better. And she called her new stepmother, Sylvia, right after her dad got out of surgery. And at first it was like, "Oh, I thought she was calling me to be like to check on her father." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet that you're calling to check on your father." And Big Cat and little Kathy was like, "Nope. I'm calling you to let you know that while my father was in the hospital and you weren't around, my mother would go and visit him and he's secretly still in love with her. So I just want you to watch your back." And she was just like, Excuse me, your father's doing fine, by the way. Thank you for checking on him. You're going to try to lie to me and make up these stories." But Sylvia says that little Kathy was just like her mother and they just enjoyed hurting people. They enjoyed doing mean things to make people feel bad. Like that was just something that they would get off on. That even at Paris's christening, this now, fast forward when Kathy Hilton ended up having Paris at her christening, Ken and Sylvia attended, and in front of everybody, I believe at the reception, she made a joke in front of everyone, little Kathy, about how her mom, Big Kathy, was better in bed than Sylvia ever could have been to her father. And I was like, wow, at the christening, you're gonna say that in front of like to everyone. So like, okay. Little Kathy went there. Ken later ended up finding out that Big Kathy forged his signature on some documents to sell a piece of their land that he owned, and then she ended up pocketing all of the money. She also, in their divorce settlement, got their Bel Air house because eventually, when they moved to Los Angeles and they were doing really well with Ken's career, he got a nice home in the gated community of Bel Air, like the Prince of Bel Air. And in the divorce settlement, Big Kathy got the house, but there was a contingency that saying that if she ever sold the house, then a portion of those proceeds needed to go to the girls, needed to go to Kyle and Kim. Well, she sold the house eventually and she kept it all for herself, and Kim and Kyle never got a dime, at least that we know of. And Ken, I guess, kicked himself in the butt for giving her the house because he wanted the girls to have something. Like if they couldn't have that home, he wanted them to at least have a piece of it. But it seemed like Big Kathy was very selfish and was very self-absorbed. And eventually, as the years went on after the divorce, their relationship with little Kathy Hilton now, ended up getting worse and worse and more contentious. And apparently, when Sylvia and Ken got married, Kim and Kyle weren't allowed to attend the wedding. Big Kathy would not allow them to go. They apparently still loved and adored their father. It's interesting because we don't hear anything about their father. We don't hear them talking about their father at all. They always talk very highly of their mother, but we don't hear much about the dad. And the dad's from the book, it seemed like Sylvia and Ken had a decent enough relationship with Kim and Kyle. Definitely not with Big Kathy. So much so to the point, or sorry, with Little Kathy. So much so to the point that Sylvia and Ken didn't even attend Little Kathy's wedding to Rick Hilton. They were just like, nah, we're good. It's like, okay. Oof, baby Jesus. Oof. Well, Kyle's doing great, thank goodness. I mean, yeah, but Kim's not. All right, what else? Um, it's 3:30 a.m. in Australia. Oh my God, Aussie Berry, thank you for staying up with me. Why are you up so late? Yikes. Mental health issues run deep in those Cathys. Yes, they do, Trish. Yes, they do. All right, guys, if you are just tuning in, we are wrapping. Ken should have structured the house transaction differently. It seemed like yes, and I'm surprised that he didn't do it more because of how smart of a businessman he seemed to be, but it seemed like he just wanted to be done with Kathy. He was so sick of the contentious divorce and the bad relationship with little Kathy and the custody battle. Like all of it just seemed to really weigh on him that he was just like, I want to be done with this. And then now he clearly regrets it and he regrets not fighting against her more. But that's what she was good at. She was good at being a bulldozer and she was good at pushing people to get them to do what she wanted them to do. Her father must be Satan. I always wondered why they don't talk much about their dad. I agree, MD. It sounds like from the book, it sounds like they had a good relationship with their father, and it doesn't. I mean, I guess we'll have to see the more we read into it. But we'll have to see. Is there an audiobook anywhere? No, there's not an audiobook anywhere. Trust me, if there were, I would be listening to it, but I'm not. I'm reading it all word for word. Okay. They were gaslighted. Both Kyle and Kim have terrible anxiety and panic attacks. That's true. I didn't even realize that. They do have really bad anxiety. Does anyone want to sell their copy? I cannot find it here. It's hard. Yeah, I couldn't find a copy either. Luckily, a very sweet woman in Australia sent me her personal copy. And she said that she read it and she has no use for it. So she gave it to me, which I thought was very, very sweet of her. And I'm very appreciative of that. I'll never look at applesauce the same way. Oh, because you'll only remember Big Kathy's WAP. No wonder Kathy makes creepy wreaths with dolls' heads surrounded by the baccarat. Yeah, I mean, Big Kathy, it's interesting that she tries to like play up this like I'm so sweet and she's really a monster. Interesting to see Kathy and Paris's relationship now. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Kathy's relationship with Paris because it doesn't feel like they have much of one. Um, Paris doesn't really seem like she can be bothered by her mother, but Paris also kind of seems like she's kind of not there. She's very detached. But at the same time, there are lots of accusations about Paris that she's not very different from her mom. I mean, and as we found out in book club last week, like Paris was an awful child and she would like pee everywhere in taxis. She didn't want to wait in line, so she would just like pee on the floor. Paris was just also very mean and a bit of a wild child. And it sounds like she's a lot like Kathy Hilton, and Kathy Hilton's a lot like her mother. So, oh yes, they do have it on Kindle, guys. So if you want to read, thank you, Passenger Shaming. If you want to read the book on Kindle, I believe it's like actually affordable there. You don't have a hard copy and you don't get to listen to it. But I'm pretty sure can't Surrey read you a book? Like, why can't we get Kindles and have Surrey read them to us? Paris does behave very in fear around Kathy. Yeah. Replay Gang, how was the show American Woman? No, this isn't Replay Gang. We're live, guys. This is live right now, Site C. You are catching a live broadcast on the YouTube. I think they were afraid of their mom, very much so. Okay, yeah. See, the Kindle version is only like 16 bucks on Amazon. So you can get a copy on Kindle, read the next 5 chapters for next week. I believe we complete the first section of the book next week. The book's broken up into 2 parts. It's called book 1 and book 2, and I believe we conclude book 1 in next week's book club. Nikki's sawed as much. Yeah, Nikki not as much. I think she oh, Nikki said as much? I don't know if that's a typo, Marianne. You don't have to be fruit to figure this out. Yep, Val. Agree. I feel they were all exploited, and it's really sad. It is really sad, Mimi. I think it's awful the way that she used them to live through them. It seemed like she used them so that she can gain fame, and then she used them or not gain fame, but gain the perks of their fame, and then she used them clearly for money, and she wanted them to be successful, and now that they are successful, she's like, "Boom, bitch. I get to live off of Kim's life." Yes, there are pictures in the book, Allison. There are. I'm trying to see if there are any pictures of. Okay, here's Nick Hilton, Natalie Wood, Nick Hilton, Elizabeth Taylor, Conrad, Nick Hilton, Patricia, Big Kathy. Oh, there are pictures with Big Kathy in here. Look at so this. Oh, sorry. This right here is when I think she became a Bannister girl, and it's this really weird type, or I don't know, unfamiliar to me. I guess it's not fair to call it weird, but it's unfamiliar to me. Um, she, I guess there was this famous photographer that used to shoot pinup photos of kids, like they were young kids that would be in like pinup poses, and it seems like that's what this is. Yeah, this is Kathy Hilton when she was a baby, and that was one of her first like modeling gigs as a child. So it's like her in her diaper, but like in a pinup style, but like she's a child. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of creepy, but I guess that was the thing, and he was a famous photographer for it. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You see all of them. You see Big Kathy. Who's this? Big Kathy. Oh, and Jack. That was hubby number 3. Do you have notes? This is a lot to remember. So juicy. Yes, I do have notes. I read them as we're going through this. And then we get into the Paris era. So yes, there are fun. Oh, wow. Look at the last photo is Paris's, the cover of her sex tape. Funny, funny, funny. Okay. Thanks for sharing this. Paris seems to be totally detached from her life. I agree. Yet Kyle only speaks highly of her mother. That's the part that's really interesting to me. Why speak so highly of your mother if she was such a monster? But again, this is everybody else's account of their mother. Um, I think they have a weird, convoluted relationship where they always felt like they needed to seek her approval and they needed to seek her love. And it was a very codependent relationship and they needed her to be happy. And it's weird. Not gonna lie. It's weird. That child picture is creepy. Yeah, I agree. A Night in Paris, I'm dead. Isn't that hilarious that they have that as like the final photo of the book is A Night in Paris? Did Big Kathy kill anyone? Not that we know of. But just apparently, according to people's testimonies, she certainly tried. IG couldn't see all the photos. Oh, sorry. I was showing it to the YouTube. Sorry guys. Let me show Instagram. So this is the modeling photo of Lil Kathy, and this is Lil Kathy in her model days. Um, this is Big Kathy and her husband, her third husband, who we'll get to, I believe, in the next couple of chapters. This is their family. Is that Ken? No, I don't think Ken would allow photos to be in there. Oh no, that is Ken. Oh wow. Yeah, there's Ken. That's Ken Richards. That's Kyle, Kim, and Kathy's stepfather, but Kyle and Kim's biological father. There he is. That's him. And then you have all the Paris photos. And then, of course, they end it with A Night in Paris. Yes, Kim's book. I bet you one of them paid her out. Probably. I'm sure Kim's book would have really gone into it. Show us the front of the book, please. This is the book. Can also just Google it, guys. Yes, it's called House of Hilton From Conrad to Paris, a drama of wealth, power, and privilege. And it is juicy. Sending love to you, Zach. Thank you, my dear. I I went on IG and didn't see the live. My YouTube was being weird. Oh, interesting. Well, it'll be saved. So once we wrap here, I'll make sure that both recaps or rebroadcasts are saved on the feeds. That way you can go back and tune in anytime. But we will break down part 3 of Bravo Book Club next week. So stay tuned. We go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So if you guys want to join Bravo Book Club, you can order the books, read them with us, or you can just stay tuned for my recaps of the chapters every week. It is a juicy one. House of Hilton is very wild. We're learning a lot about Kathy Hilton and about Big Kathy. Loved your Off with My Head recap. I wasn't able to buy the book, but now I am because of your life. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate that. I really enjoyed Off with My Head. I think I have it right here, right? Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good book. All the chapters are up on the YouTube and on the Instagram account, so you can catch those there. There's a full playlist on the YouTube channel about Bravo Book Club. So all the books that we've recapped: Margaret's book, Dorinda's book, Stassi's book, House of Hilton. So if you guys do have book recommendations for what you would like to read in the future, let me know so we can get into it. But yeah, I'm sad that Kim Richards' book got squashed. Somebody clearly paid her out because publishers don't. Because I hear she also got to keep her advance, and publishers don't do that. If your book gets scrapped, then you don't get to keep your advance. And she got paid a very generous advance. So it sounds like somebody, maybe a Hilton, squashed the book deal and paid off the publisher to keep the book deal dead. Kim was great, better than Amber Heard. Kim Richards was better than Amber Heard. Interesting. This is fun every week. Love the chat and love listening to you. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Zach. We love it when you read to us after a hard day. Yummy. Yes, this is like your did you do Stassi's book? Yeah. Did you want what? Do you want Stassi back? I do. Yes, I would love to have Stassi back. Have you read any of Brandy Glanville's books? Yes, I have read Brandy Glanville's books. That would be interesting to do for book club one of these days. Her second, well, I guess they were both pretty good. Husky Loving Teacher bought 3 badges. Thank you, Husky Loving Teacher. Brandy's are tweeting and wine books, though. Drinking and tweeting. Those are her books. Drinking and tweeting, and then drinking and dating. They were fun. I read them back when they came out. Anything else before we wrap, guys? I do have to run. I don't have a hot date tonight, but I do have a neighbor date. My neighbor Sarah and I are gonna grab some dinner and some wine. So there's that. Anything else? Thoughts, feelings, vibes. Love book club so much. Thank you, Charmin BB. Thank you, Husky Loving Teacher, for the 3 badges. No after party tonight, guys. I do have to run to dinner, but I appreciate you. I love you, and I will talk to you this Thursday. Oh, thank you, Mimi, for the 3 badges. Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. Stop. Don't stop, but please keep going. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll be in the DMs. If you want to DM me, I'll be around. But have a wonderful night. We'll be live again this Thursday. Trust me, Tones, we will do after party on Thursday. I did a whole 90-minute impromptu live. What was it, Monday, Sunday? One of those days. I literally went live, secret after party live, and was live for 90 minutes and was just shooting the shit and chatting with all of you guys. So I gave you a bonus after party. Oh, Adam and I are going live tomorrow, you guys. I forgot to tell you. Adam Newell from Up and Adam and I will be going live. We're taking over the Birchbox Instagram account. So my account will be live and Adam will be hosting it on the Birchbox account. We're doing a countdown to the Real Housewives of Dubai premiere. So be sure to tune into that. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Pacific, so 4 p.m. LA time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So tomorrow night, you will get a bonus live with Adam and I as we count down to the premiere of Real Housewives of Dubai. So make sure you mark that in your calendar. Tomorrow, Wednesday night, June 1st, we will be going live, counting down the premiere of Real Housewives of Dubai. And everyone's always asking us about skincare. So since we're doing it with Birchbox and we're partnering with Birchbox and we love Birchbox, we will be talking all about, skincare and getting glammed up, getting pampered as you're watching Real Housewives of Dubai. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you. We won't be live on YouTube tomorrow night, but we will be live on the Instagram. So talk to you then. Bye, guys.